before starting anything, if it was a dream, it must haunt you. It must haunt you like so many times, and then you just know that this is it.
This is it.
If it haunts me like this way, I just need to just do it, make it possible, and see what's gonna happen. So from that step, from the first step, everything, and then you learn from what's happening, and then you improve there and there. So you just need to step in first. First step, beating the Mr. Fear. That's the first step.
If they black, they black. If they got big nose, they got big nose. If they got a big mouth, they got big mouth. If they got curly hair, they got curly hair. So what you trying to change them for? We want you to put something in their head.
You are now listening to episode 12 of the Conexion podcast.
The calm that found expression through the artistic skill that he possessed represented an extension of himself and the culture.
This is the Connection, brought to you by Hefro, and I am your host, Abiso, Ugambu, Memelo, Msuthu, Ngwekazi, Umfana, Wakwanyati. So we're here in episode 12. For those of you who are listening for the first time, welcome. And today we are at the Barista CUP in Roland Street, Cape Town, the coffee shop. As you can hear the truck. So we are chilling here with Mr. Gcobani Gogoba. How are you, sir?
I'm very good, sir. And how are you?
I know I'm good. After having this coffee of yours, cafe mocha, for those of you who don't know. Yeah, I just can't help, sipping on it. I hope you can hear that, people. So Mr. Gcobani. Okay, so I want to start by saying, for those people who don't know what the Barista CUP is all about, please explain to them, and how did the name come about?
Okay, Barista CUP, it's a coffee shop. It's a coffee company based in the township. It's basically serving already made coffee to the commuters taking train, and also taxi drivers. The name Barista CUP came after working for some companies for some time, doing the same job, which is barista. I came with this idea of I wanted to do it on my own, for myself, for the township.
Okay.
Bringing what I normally do in town for someone to the people. And then I thought, I love being a barista, and I am a barista. I think I will die as a barista. So I thought of, okay, let me name it as these cups are coming from a barista side to the customer.
Okay.
So it's barista's cup to a customer. So I am a barista. I'm making these cups.
Okay.
To customers. So so it's barista bringing cups to customers. So it's Barista Cups. Yeah. So that's how it came. The name. Yeah.
Okay. And I believe that you were working before you started this business, right?
Yeah.
So what basically intrigued you into starting this, like having your own cafe or having your own cup of a barista?
Yeah, coffee started to be more personal to me. I started thinking about it, about sharing ideas with my boss about this. How about if we do our beans, roast them in this way? It just started to be more in my blood, in my veins, and that's when I just decided, now I think it's time now to try it, to stand on my own and see how it's gonna go. And it all, I started loving it. It changed from work to be fun. Yeah,
Fun,
it started as a fun.
I like that,
It's part
yeah.
of a life, part of what I do, what I think of, and
Every day.
telling you I can just do coffees the whole day without being bored or anything. Each and every cup is just I'm making history on that cup. It's like the first cup I do, and if it's not good enough, it doesn't go to a customer. That's what I tell also my baristas which are under me, that if it's not good enough, don't worry about wasting it. Make another one until you're confident enough to bring it to a customer. That's how I grew on this industry. Love what you do. If you're confident enough, this is good from my side, it will be good from the other side as a customer. So sell what you like, sell what you love, believe in it, have the belief. Yeah,
It's all about the belief.
Yeah.
And speaking about somebody who's under you, there's a guy there that you're training.
Yeah.
When did he start?
Also, I started this morning. I called him yesterday because I knew that he wasn't working, and then I thought maybe we could use him and somehow also get him some wages at some point.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking about him, but we didn't really have a space as like now. But we would try to organize a space for him at the Nyanga Junction, as he's also from the townships. And Saturday and Sunday he's gonna go to the township where it's just raw. This side is just nice and easy. You take it easy, take your time.
Yeah.
But in the township, you just need to move.
So
So that's where he's gonna get tough training at the township. So he's quite good. He listens. He listens. I taught him how to steam milk, how the espresso should look, how he pour the milk, the formed milk to the coffee.
yeah.
But yeah, it's promising. It's promising. And he was early. I asked him to come at 5. He was there 4:45 in the morning. So he's such a good soldier.
Good soldier.
Yeah, it's just a good feeling to help someone without expecting something back. It's just a good feeling, I would say.
So I believe he lives in your area.
Yeah, that's right.
So you called him like, yo, would you like to work here for me?
Yeah,
And teach you how this thing is done and so forth.
that's right. That's right.
Okay, I know. No, that's very thoughtful of you. And hopefully there's some businesses out there who actually see people that are not doing anything but actually approaching them like, okay, can I teach you something? Then if they want, then they can come. They're like, no, it's fine. Then at least you tried.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I've tried quite a lot of people, but the problem is for them to wake up to come at 5 at my place. So usually they're waking up around 4 to get ready to be there at 5. So you could get a person who's got this potential of a hard worker and listening, but it's a problem if they can't make the time, or not even if they can't make the time of coming early as 5 o'clock, and then we can't go as far. Yeah, so I was impressed with him for the first day of coming really, really early. Came 4:45.
Before you came,
I wasn't even ready to start setting up, but
he was here.
yeah, that's another point from my side. I'm starting to love him from the first side. Not love him, like him.
Oh,
So,
I understand. Okay, I know. Yeah, I think a lot of people should start doing that. Speaking about niche, right? I understand that every business has its own niche, and with your business, that your niche is in Ekasi and also in the suburbs, right? So now, how important do you think it is that when a person is starting a business venture, that they should base it in different areas rather than one area?
I would say it's important by this way. Firstly, it's playing safe. If something happens on the other side, you're still safe on the other side. but also in terms of growing. That's also another way of growing. And also to experience different customers, it builds you.
Okay.
It builds you to have different techniques or how to improve the business by doing it in different locations. You can combine that and then become better for the next day. So I would say it does work very well, and it's important to do so.
Okay. So now, with Kasi, right? I understand that you're operating from Epsd. Yeah. So how what's the process like? Are you there in the morning, and then what time? 5 o'clock, right?
We basically start at 5:30 to do the setup, and then around 6 we're ready to serve coffee.
Okay.
And then at 10:30, that's where we shift. That's where we move. That's when we see it's getting slower and slower. And if it's getting slower, the problem is on our side, it's the generator we use. So we're using more petrol, and then for waiting for people to come, and then you use 2 liters, 3 liters. It's kind of like losing on the other hand. So around 10 you get one customer, and then after 30 minutes another one. So a liter of petrol is about 13 rand. If we're wasting those 26 rand, and then we get 10 rand, and then we waste another 26 or 13 rand, and then you get another 10 rand, it doesn't really make sense. So it's better to do it on those times. Those times at at 6 until 10:30. Yeah, that's where our period of making money is in business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking. You said before that you operate here, and then you also operate in Ekasi, because you basically are catering for 2 markets, market in Ekasi and market here. So you can actually get to differentiate. Okay, these people need these certain things, and then these people need this. You know. So now out of that, and also operating out of from Edenhoek, the back of your bakkie, like what would you say is that thing that you got out of that, waking up, operating from your bike, and also being here? What have you learned from that? How have you grown from it? What character have you gotten from that as an entrepreneur?
In the township, the character that I got there from the guys which are supporting me, it's totally different to what I get here in town. So it built me to be more in a professional way, to understand 2 different markets. For an example, in town, the style you do coffee, it must be silky, not too hot, only under 60 degrees in terms of the temperature, and it's also in a different way of serving it than in a township. In a township, you put 3 spoons of sugar in, you boil it extremely hot, you close it, and then you do a next one, and you have to be really, really quick. So it's teaching me to be more professionally, to differentiate between the 2. I know what to do when I'm in the township, I know what to do when I'm in town. So it's still combining those 2. And
and then when as an entrepreneur, like, would you say that it has taught you more how to be efficient as to operating a business yako, okanye has it taught you as to how to identify your what is it that these people want, and what is it that these kind of people want?
It taught me to be flexible, to understand your customers, their needs. You first put the product in, and then see if they will like it. And then as you helping them or serving them, you will learn as the time goes. You learn I should improve this, or I should take the style which I'm doing there and use it on this side. For an example, what I told you about the loyalty cards, which is doing wonders at the township. So I'm sure also here in town it can, and it's also near the students. Students don't really want to spend much on coffee. If they get a free one, it would be exciting for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, it does help me very well to have these two. It's just playing around with those, taking it easy. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of students, like ekasi, like, I mean, this whole barista coffee thing, I'm sure to some people it's new, you know. Some people do know about it, some people don't know about it.
Yeah.
But ekasi, how would you, Okanye, what was it like when you actually introduced this kind of coffee? What was the response from the people?
Wow, the time we introduced this, it was 2015. Around October. Yeah, but it was, the response was quite bad. I mean, I can tell you that we were quiet until the festive. We were just doing less than 20 cups a day. Just getting frustrated, thinking of going back to work.
To work, yeah.
And then 2016, people started to notice us. That Baki has a coffee in at the back, and then taxi drivers were like, "No, I've never seen the machine which does coffee. You only do coffee at home by mixing coffee and teaspoon of sugar and hot water, not a car with the coffee machine." And yeah, it started from there. One taxi driver would get one and then be amazed, and then tell another one, and then that's the way we got to be known. And they would carry these cups inside the taxi, and then the passengers were like, "No, where did you get this coffee? Can I taste it?"
And it smells good.
Yeah, it does smell. It does that aroma which is quite different to
The
what they
normal
normally use at home. It started from there. I would say they did help me a lot. Taxi drivers which are driving Amapel. And then people started to trust us. We got regulars which are taking transports, which would just pass by and grab a cup and then move. But 90% it's taxi drivers.
Taxi drivers.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
our customers. Taxi drivers.
Yeah, taxi drivers. So, and then you moved. You moved here in February here in Roland Street. What was that transition like? I mean, when you opened up here.
It was a little bit scary at some point because it's just a different environment, different market. We were not too sure about. We were not too strong. We were not very comfortable about our coffee, how it's gonna taste when it comes to in town. But amazing enough, people started loving it. How it tastes. The smell of it, and then we gain the confidence from what people are saying, and then we correct from where we lack, we correct our mistakes. And we've been here, we've got regulars close by, from ETV, lectures next door. It's been good.
Okay, so Rotman, up and we have like a feature. So the feature is, you know, as in was this entrepreneur you have, or somebody who wants to build something, you know, you have that song, you know, that song that keeps you going, you know. So what is that song for you that you are Bonele Ngoma? This is, it keeps me going.
One of the artists which singing a song, or just something which keeps me going?
No, it's a song that keeps you going. Can be any song or any artist.
I would say it's Black Mambazo. It's Black Mambazo. I used to have this CD, which I'm not too sure about the album. It was about, these guys were singing about they are getting gold. Rather than that, to that song, something which pushes me or something which encourages me. It's not only from people who have achieved or people who are successful. I looked everywhere. For an example, I was speaking to one of my colleagues, Tracy, that there's a guy who's doing parking. It's a free parking, but he would keep your car. His name is John.
So he's a car guard.
He's a car guard, exactly.
Yeah.
That guy, I've known him since day one that he's been parking cars. I also parked my car some days there. But he's always on same mood. He's always good as... I've never gave him something the first time for the 2 weeks which I've been parking my car. I've never given him something until the other day I was like, no man, there's something about this guy. I'm not giving him something, but he's always smiling as if he knows me, I'm his regular. And I called him the other day, like, do you drink coffee? He was like, yes. I was like, okay, let's just come to the shop and I'll give you coffee and a muffin to have something while it's cold. And from there, that guy I learned something from that guy, that you need to be patient for stuff, even if you don't know it's gonna happen. You just need to do it from your bottom of your heart if you have to. To people like that. And the other guy is he's selling newspapers at Etlon. That guy, you would see him every morning. He's there. It's not big as what he's doing there. So for other people who wouldn't really stay that long. I've known also that guy since this year, but each and every morning I'd see him. We started being more to friends now. We greet each other.
Yeah.
But I also learned to those guys of do something like continue. The continuity, it's the way to go. Do it. Consistency,
yeah.
Push it more each and every day. Push it.
Love your neighbor. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love your Lord God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. People of the earth might know that the hand of the Lord is powerful. So that you might always feel the Lord your God. He did this so that our son brings joy to his father, but a foolish son grief to his mother. Press on toward the goal to win the prize from which God has called me. Jehovah is my shepherd. Jehovah is my shepherd. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Who can purify you? Hallelujah. Who can purify us?
And then something came. And then you put your cup. How was that for you?
Yo, man. I had goosebumps at that day.
Yeah.
That event was just... It looked very like it's just a normal event until something came. And I thought he was lying about saying, I'm going to try your cup after the show, but I'm just going to perform and then come back. And then he started asking me questions about where do you get your coffee. I told him, no, it's straight from Nyanga. It's roasted in a pot from medium to dark, and then I serve it. I buy it raw, and it's straight from Burundi, from a guy, more like a fair trade. A guy is a farmer in Burundi. He brings it here and then he sells it. And then he was so amazed to try it, and then he liked the taste. He couldn't hold himself. He took a picture from his cell phone, from his camera. He was just excited to hear guys doing coffee and roasting it, more like a handcraft.
Yeah, handcrafted.
Yeah. So yeah, I was so amazed. I was so amazed.
Yes. Okay, so after that, do you think after Jay something took the pictures and posted it, do you think did people start coming into buying more?
I wouldn't say it did make much in terms of sales or business, but it did more on the exposure side. People started to recognize us as this kind of a brand of Barista CUP.
Yeah.
Not really in terms of it did bring more
people,
yeah. But not that we're complaining, it will get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just the exposure. Yeah.
Okay, and then you're saying that it's more handcrafted, you know. I believe that basically like life is an art. Whatever you do, it's an art, you know.
Yeah.
I'm also doing something that involves my hands. You know, I carve I carve wood, you know. For somebody who basically doesn't understand this whole concept of coffee and, you know, barista, somebody who just, you know, used to frisco or coffee or just instant coffee, you know, how would you, like, what's the beauty of or the craftsmanship of basically crafting a coffee, you know? What's the process like?
The process from crafting coffee, you get it as raw beans. It's coffee beans. It's actually bean from a cherry. It comes as raw as green, and then we warm up the pot, and then we throw them the amount we want. And we wait for the pot to heat up first to the temperature we want, and then we throw the beans in. The time you throw them, you start moving your wooden spoon. You move it from start until to the finish. But what's nice about it, while you're moving those beans, they're making that noise. After 5 minutes to 10 minutes, you start smelling something from it. Some people are saying it smells like a fresh baked bread, but I just like the smell you get from those fresh beans when they are getting that heat. They get that heat, and then they change the color to be slightly yellow, from yellow to be beigeish, and then they get to be brown. After brown, and then they start cracking. But because we're using a pot, they can't crack all of them. Okay. Because they're only getting one heat from the bottom, and then it's your hand. It can't move constantly. Yeah. So there are other beans which they get more heat than the others, and sometimes they will be darker than the others. But at the end, you have to take them out because they are burnt. They will bring bad flavor in the coffee. So when they are brown, they crack, we call it a first crack. They will like on the pot,
just like popcorn.
Just like popcorn, exactly.
Yeah.
And then that's when you look for the color you want. The first crack, it's okay. You look for the color you want. It's either now you want to make it medium, which is quite difficult on a pot to go for medium. You look for that color, but our beans, they normally from medium to dark. So we roast them before they get to the second crack. We stop, and then we throw them on a bowl, and then we put it outside to get some air to cool down. That's different to coffee roasting in a machine, because you just throw beans the exact amount, and then you press buttons. You listen to the crack from that drum moving. You check the temperature. You put the in-drum cooling. We don't have in-drum coolings.
So basically, you let nature take its course
by blowing it outside. Outside. Our in-drum cooling is just opening a window to get that air coming from outside. And that's how we craft our own coffee, and people we've got positive response from it.
I mean, I mean, by you having to, craft your own what's this coffee,
Yeah.
and then also talking about you having the machines, is there a difference in terms of taste if you use the machine and if you use it by hand?
Yeah, there is a big difference. That's why we're also saving to get a proper roasting machine. And we can be comfortable and be confident enough to sell it at the reasonable price.
Okay.
At the moment, it's still good. It has a different taste than the coffee roaster. Firstly, the coffee roaster, it has that in drum cooling. It's more like going inside the bean, and after it's done, you would get more flavors than at the pot. But the pot side, if you like smoky flavor, that's what you get from the smoky flavor. But I don't know how. Maybe it's that wooden spoon. The magic is on the wooden spoon. But I would say pot would be our first stage, and interesting. We won't really stop doing pot, because there are people who just who just come here and buy our coffee beans because they know they are roasted in a pot. They just love the smell, how it tastes, more than the other people. There are people who just prefer our beans more than to go to Truth. Big companies.
Big companies.
I would say we are getting we will get a proper coffee roaster, and also for our volumes to roast it more quicker. And it's difficult to roast it on a pot during winter time because we're using the daylight light. We can only use light from outside. During the night, we can't use the lights like from the globe or inside. It doesn't tell the truth how the bean is actually. So it's gonna be very hard for us during winter
time.
Because it's getting dark quicker, so you have to work during the morning, and
Okay. Now, as you're talking there, I'm just thinking, like you talk about the machine, about the machine and also the handcrafted, and you're saying that some people prefer the handcrafted, like they buy the beans themselves. So I'm just thinking, do you think that you will have products that are made from the machine only, and also products that are handcrafted? Because I mean, doing it by hand, I'm sure it takes some time. And then by the machine, you just put more quicker. So do you think that you're gonna leave the handcrafting and focus more on the machine, since I'm sure your business is gonna grow, obviously. So the demand will be, be a lot. More, more. So do you think you're gonna leave this and then focus on the?
No, I don't think I'll leave the hand roasting, but it's just the coffee roasting, the coffee roaster. It will make our job more easy in terms of pushing more in like producing in mass production for restaurants. But the handcraft, we will still do it for the people who prefer it. We'll give you a choice if you want this same bean hand roasted or in a roaster. You choose. So we'll still continue, and it's also our idea. I don't think there's anyone who's doing it. Not that I did a research, but I've never seen anyone around Cape Town who's doing it that way. Even if it's quite a lot of work to handle it on your fingers.
Handcrafted. And I'm sure that's your kind of like that's your.
It's making us different.
Different. Competitive edge. Now, I'm just thinking of this guy of Burundi. Your supplier. I'm sure your relationship with him has grown, and it's more. How did that that relationship come about, and how is it now? Is it more stronger? Are they big, or they also still starting out?
The guy is big. On a guy called Richard. He's quite big at Burundi. He's a big farmer there. He's got farmer and other businesses like the portable toilets and stuff. But in terms of our relationship, he's such a good business guy. We were small enough, but he respects his customers, which I learned a lot from him and other people which I worked with, like for example Yoko.
Okay.
So these big guys are quite big, but the way they handle customers and people around, they give that respect. So that's what people want. And Richard, before I used to go and buy my coffee. Now he delivers it. He comes here and delivers it. So he's telling me everything he's doing, a new bean he's bringing, a new product.
Yeah.
What do I think about this? So we're very close to each other, and I wouldn't go for any other Burundi except he's Burundi's. And what I know about him, what I have noticed, he believes in his product. So you need people who believe on what they're doing in their product. When you have that inside thing to push forward, even if it's hard. He's not big here in South Africa yet.
Yeah.
But he's gonna make a big mark one day.
Now, I'm gonna quote you again. So it says, "That's what keeps me going. That's why I kick off my blankets early in the morning, because I know that I'll be doing something I enjoy more than working for someone. Having those 8 hours that you have to work." Yeah? Now, there are people out there who have ideas but then are scared to attend them, you know, or some of them are jobless, some of them have full-time jobs, but then they don't know how to basically attend their ideas. Yeah. How would you tell them to do it, Naganjan? Because I can see here that's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To start something, it's a problem. I think it's affecting everyone. If you want to start something, you will have that. You have to beat Mr. Fear. Mr. Fear would be sitting on next to your shoulder, and when you check, he's sitting here. So if you beat Mr. Fear first of all, if you can't, it will stay as a dream until someone acts in front of you, saying do the same concept. Then it won't be nice. But if you hit that Mr. Fear, take him away. Have that attitude of like, let me just do it. Let me just do it because I won't know until I tried.
Exactly.
So expect anything. You might fail from the first time, but if it's worth it, do it again. Do it again, and quitting is not an option. If it's too hard, you just press pause and breathe and then continue. The thing is, the startups are a problem. It's just you think of so many things.
So many things, yeah.
Yeah, they've got that thing of what if I fail? They've got that thing. That's
always
Mr. Fear.
there.
That's Mr. Fear sitting on your shoulder. Take him off. I call
them as you say, Mr. Fear.
Yeah.
So for me, I call them doubt, no procrastination. I said to my friend the other day, I met a guy called Doubt and a woman named Procrastination. Because Doubt is like, ish, can I really do this? And you're like, man, no, man. And then Mr. Procrastination is like, no, man, don't have to do it now. We can do it later.
Yeah.
So they basically like, they're working hand in hand.
It will stay as a dream. It will stay as a dream until you make it happen. So you really need to make it happen by beating Mr. Fear away.
I like how you put Mr. Fear. And then before we close, you can see the Kasi where you're operating, right?
Yeah.
And as we said before that, it's one of the places that are high on unemployment, right? So now, what do you think is the continents? When I say continent, I mean like Africa now. I don't want to focus it on South Africa alone. Do you think that the social economic development is progressing, or there's a lot that can be done to make it more efficient or make it happen more quicker?
I think there's a lot which can be done, not only from the small business guys, from some of the organization. If I would talk about organizations which are specializing in rehabilitating people, because in Nyanga you get more people which are depending on a drug, which are doing stuff because of the drug they're using. So we can start up businesses in the township, but you'll get those people who wants to get whatever. It has a value. Everything they get, if they steal anything from you, it has a value. So by having more businesses in the township, it won't only help unemployed youth, but on the drug side, it's quite a problem. It's just too much. It's just too much, and it's killing the future of our kids. With the gangsterism on the other hand. So if there could be more actions of taking the drug out of the system of our townships, I think there could be an improvement, because you'll be thinking straight. You won't be craving. You'll be thinking straight, I need a job because my mother is not working, or I've got a kid I need to feed. Not that I need money to buy for this craving. I need to steal this bag to get 20 rand to buy a tick. So yeah, I would say there's a lot. It's going to move slow if the drug is still strong, until we can take with the root the drug out.
It's all about the root, like taking the root out.
Taking the root out.
Okay. No, powerful stuff. Yeah. And then we spoke about the youth, right?
Yeah.
So you are walking down the street, no?
Yeah.
And you stand. You're waiting at the robots, right? And then you meet this kid.
Yeah.
So this 16-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And then they ask you a question. What should I do with my life, Rotman?
Yeah.
There's so much peer pressure out there.
Yeah.
What would you say to them?
That's difficult because I've got kids too. I would say to this kid, I would say try to find something you love. Try to find something you love, and then stick on it, and then find people which are doing it better than you, and then associate yourself with them, and then peer pressure is a problem. I mean, peer pressure is such a problem, because you get so many people who had talent, which you knew at the township that this guy was good in sport, but because his friends were smoking, and then started smoking or drinking, he drank a lot, and then he lost his career. So, peer pressure is a problem, but the only advice I would say, it's just do what you love, and then associate yourself with people who are doing it better than you. Yeah. Then you might improve. But in a peer pressure side, I wouldn't know. As I know, it's just something which is powerful. Something which is powerful. Peer pressure can beat a parent. It can't work. Sometimes it can't work on a parent. Kids would listen to the friends outside more than parents in. So, the solution on that, I wouldn't know. But I might give an advice when we're there.
Yeah. Okay. No, Rotman, thank you for spending your time. Thank you for accepting us. Thank you for sharing your wise words, and I hope that the people that are listening to this will actually take some of the things that we have spoken about, and actually, practice them, or try to see how they can better their lives with whatever they're trying to do, or with whichever art that they're trying to do. And then also with the business, just pray that it works, and especially in Ekasi, and that people get to experience more the art of coffee, rather than just think, okay, that's just a business, and also see, the hardships that one goes through in terms of making a business work, or in terms of making product work.
The challenges you meet for being a business guy in the township, because we really meet so many challenges. Getting robbed, it's another one. But if you know what you're there for, just ask yourself the reason why I'm there, why I started it. It will put you back on track.
It's all about the why.
Yeah, it's if someone comes and rob you, it just puts you on a different mode. People might just decide to stop it at all. There's the one incident which they did last year. They took our generator while we were working. While you were working, we bought this generator. It was still in winter time. It was quite misty that Saturday. We're up and down, going through the taxis, bringing coffee, dealing with customers. I think these guys, they planned it very well. They will look at us while we are out from near the machine. Our generator was quite far from us because we are avoiding
the noise.
Yeah. And we had a long cable which is connected to it. But I've noticed it when I came back from over the road. And then I looked at the machine, it was off. The buttons were all off. It was very odd because the generator we bought, we trusted it because it was a 6 kVA Honda, very powerful. It could handle that machine for hours. That's the reason we bought it. We're still paying. We're still paying for it. When I went back and then I checked, it's just everything is off, nothing is working. And then I checked the generator. Now I started realizing now it's quiet. Where's the generator? I saw only the cord on the floor. The generator is gone. And I checked to the people who are selling around. They said no, they saw these 3 guys still were loading it at the back of the car while it's idling, working. And the third guy was standing around with a firearm, so they couldn't really run to us because they were also scared for their life. So I think it was also good on the other way that we didn't see them. Obviously we were going to react. Everyone will react. If I take your stuff, you'll react.
Yeah,
you're stealing. So those are the challenges which people who are not strong enough, who don't have that thing inside, would just decide to stop. But you, before starting anything, if it was a dream, it must haunt you. It must haunt you like so many times, and then you just know that this is it. If it haunts me like this way, I just need to just do it, make it possible, and see what's going to happen. So from that step, from the first step, everything, and then you learn from what's happening, and then you improve there and there. So you just need to step in first. The first step, beating the Mr. Fear. That's the first step. Yeah.
Mr. Fear. So we've reached the end. You've heard the man of wise words, interesting story. Remember to check him out on Facebook, Barista CUP, Instagram at Barista CUPs, and also come to Roland Street or go to Nyanga just to taste the coffee. It tastes really good. And remember to check us out, Conexion podcast on SoundCloud, and we're available on YouTube. So remember to share, to comment, and let's spread the word. Let's inspire those people. You know what to do. Let your dreams live, and just make a difference out there. It's all about you. Make a difference.
Good morning to the